Everyone's coming up. Nice. Alright, guys, go grab the boys down in Coalition comms as well. I still see Dark Law and Munchie over there. There's Munchie. And Dark Law. I'm gonna see if I can drag him up here. Boom, there we go. Alright, we'll wait a minute or two so we can get more people in. If you have more boys from the Saloon, from Agribears, from Saints, RXSK, TA, so on and so forth, go ahead and bring them on board, guys. If you see them online, grab all of them. We'll wait about 2 minutes till we can get more people on, and then I'll go ahead and start. You should also see a channel called Fireside Q&A. I'll go ahead and open that up for everybody now. You should be able to type your questions in Fireside Q&A. Realize, let me know if there's anybody who puts their hand up on this side, and I'll invite them up. We'll wait for 1 more minute in case we get more people. If we don't, here's what it is. Okay, I'll go ahead and get us started then. So, if for the newer people, for Saints and for the boys in the Saloon, a Fireside is basically a monthly event in which we consistently get together. We talk about the goings on of the coalition, and we talk about future prospects, current events, expansion, what we have been doing, what we can be doing, and so on. So it's like a collection of information that the coalition goes ahead and basically pushes forward for everybody to be able to ask their questions, have answers, and that sorts of stuff. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the Fireside Q&A channel. And one more time, that is under the news and info category, right at the top of the Discord. If you understand everything so far, just give me an X in Fireside Q&A. Perfect. Alright, cool. Wonderful. Alrighty. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the first topic. And this is specifically for our newer pilots who've come in, who don't quite understand the Discord itself or the locations for different things in the organization of the Discord. Now, if you take a look at all of the categories, that's enough access, guys. If you take a look at the categories within the Discord, for leadership, you'll see the command section. For your line members, that means your average bros. You'll see the coalition, social, fleet ops, market hub, and a few others as well. If you have a little bit of disorganization with this stuff, just go ahead and minimize the categories and you should be able to manage things a lot easier. There are a few channels, but don't worry about it too much. They all get used. As for any... Yeah, it's not a problem, Munchie. As for any sorts of locations and organizations, make sure you are in the coalition chat and game as well. It's the same name as the server. And you have your bookmarks there as well available for coalition stuff. So if you have sinos you need to go ahead and be doing, or Insta docs for the major trade hubs, they're all available there as well. And whenever we get wormholes, like we have a capital sized wormholes that come up, we'll go ahead and put them in the locations for TMC as well, and you should be able to see them also If you want to know how to make the wormhole locations, you want to need to go under the Coalition Commons section, go into the forums, and it should be right underneath wormhole identification or wormhole ID, and that'll teach you how to go ahead and make it. It's pretty simple. Seems a little bit confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it's very, very straightforward. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our latest topic, which is industrial infrastructure. Now, we've recently put down the rigged structures, which is for ice reprocessing and ore reprocessing. We're going to go ahead and put more structures down for moons in the low sec area as well as the high sec area. We're putting them down relatively soon, hopefully within the next week or two, if we're able to do so. If we can, fantastic. If it takes a little bit longer, then it is what it is. But we'll figure out a date. There's no solid date for that at the moment. We'll have something out for that later. But that's to bump up the production needs and that sort of stuff. Because as Relance told me earlier, we're going through the moons relatively easily now with a lot more people that have joined up, which is fantastic. I want to go ahead and have more resources available for us in the coalition. I'm sure Munchie wants to put some more structures down, which is ace. So I will be having him and Cap work together to be able to put more things down so that everybody has more ability to be able to grab hold of more juicy rocks, so that production then skyrockets, and we continue to be able to be as organized and fruitful as possible. Now, with the production side of things, we're moving along very nicely. The battleship production side of things is coming along decently. I don't believe Cap's here for this. Let me just double check. He is. Cap, would you mind coming up and explaining a little bit about where we are in terms of the battleship production and what we have yet to do, please? I'm going to go ahead and invite you up. Your mic is muted, Cap.
All right, can everyone?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, great. So far with ship production, we basically have gotten all moon goo that we have from our moon moved to Halma to Millie Airport. That's the where we're currently doing our reactions. We are in the process getting all of our PIs in the coalition set to fuel block production and getting fuel blocks made. We're also working with friends over in Galente space who are helping us gather the oxygen isotopes for our fuel blocks, and we are gathering the rest. Mounts is over in Caldari space gathering the nitrogen isotopes that we need for nitrogen fuel blocks. So once we get the fuel blocks together, we'll be able to add that with our moon goo to start the reactions for the actual components. Then after that, we'll be able to piece together the battleships. And that all should be happening within the next week or two. We'll be full stream pumping out battleships. And I believe we're starting with the Tempest first. So that will be coming online over the next 2 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you, Cap. I'll go ahead and move you down. Morales, I will be a customer of fuel for Imperium structures. I help for. Yeah, that'd be great. That ties me into something that's ever so slightly off topic. And I haven't spoken about this with anybody at the moment. This is just something I've been bouncing off of Relance and I into like private discussions. We are considering opening possible market hubs and that sort of stuff for the future. That won't happen till the next year, sometime in the next year at the latest. I'm probably assuming, I'm going to give it an estimate till summertime. But that's not like a hard sell. That's very soft. I don't know how we're going to be looking till then. I'm just giving that. I'm just throwing that out there. If we're able to do it, fantastic. If we're not, then it is what it is. Yes, Morales, I know you've been stalking Cezanne at the time. I'm talking about a proper market hub with, infrastructure, stuff that we can sell out that's open to everybody, and it's not out of an NPC. Available specifically to our blues. And our allies, of course. Right. Now, I want to go ahead and... Yeah, that would be ideal. I want to go ahead and touch a little bit on PvP doctrines and factional warfare. With the PvP, we've been getting a lot of kills in the air. A lot of boys have been making the KB green, which is fantastic, as always, to light that up, which is great. I want to see a bit more of that. Like, we're getting some small kills. I want to try and see if we can get more fleet operations out in the local area, as well as going on allied fleets and that sort of stuff. I'll see if I can organize some more wormhole evictions for us to be part of. Those are always fun, and we can go and see what we're able to do. Now, as for the doctrines for our recent additions, so that's Saints and the Saloon, you have a bunch of doctrines that you can go ahead and get into. I recently released a mail to Tempest in regards to what you can put for your skill queue. I've forwarded that to your CEOs and directors, so they should then have sent that to you as well. If you haven't got that, just give me a wave in Fireside Q&A if you do not have the skill plan for the members in Joe's Saloon and those in Saints. Just give me a wave in Fireside Q&A if you do not have those skill plans. So I'm assuming everybody from Saints in the Saloon has it? Alright, fair enough. Then there should be no issues when it comes to getting the doctrine ships. You gave it? Fantastic. Thank you, Nomad. Right. Now this moves me on to factional warfare. We've been having actually, the best person to explain this would be Morales. Morales, are you here, sir? Would you be so kind as to come up and give a little bit of an explanation to the faction warfare side, the current state that it's in, and what we need to do as a coalition to be able to push this forward and get the guys out of our space. Coming up. You should see the thing, Rose, to come up.
Oh, I was already talking.
No worries.
All right. So faction warfare is this war between the empires that has been going on for years now, and Concord kind of restricts it a little bit. It's confined to certain low-sec regions mostly. But the way it works is there's these contested systems, and the militias for each empire fight to take control of that system and deny its use to the enemy. So this is going on right now in our area. The benefits for you, those of you who want to know more, I can go over the benefits and the style of warfare with you later. But for now, the interest in it for us as a coalition is the Minmatar militia is in with some local pirate groups like Smile and Wave. And if they gain control of our constellation, the Jaya constellation, that means we will have hostile eyes vectoring pirates onto our stuff in our home. Now, what's happening in our zone is the front right now is down in Huola, Cremonin. It's intense fighting. Be careful down there. Like, it's 5 pages of Ezekiel for Cremonin right now for the last 24 hours. But what the Minmatar militia guys are doing is in our quiet systems, Terraran, Sozan, Asged, they're going in there where the Amar militia guys are not around and plexing. So they're setting the groundwork. They're getting those systems up to 60-70% unchallenged by any locals. And then when the Minmatar militia push the front line up this way, those systems are ready to flip very easily. So we need to be killing these Minmatar militia guys who think they can plex unchallenged in Jaya Constellation. Otherwise, they're just setting the groundwork. Minotaur Militia is going to roll in, take all the systems, and then Smile and Wave will be all over the place.
Thank you, Morales. I'm going to move you back down. So for the faction warfare side, I will be pushing for us to do as much of that as possible in line with the industrial structure upgrade that we're bringing to the coalition as well. We need to be able to secure our space against these guys. It's not a us versus them. It's not a war-based sort of thing. Well, it kind of is. So if you've got some spare time and some spare capabilities, I would definitely recommend you get in touch with Morales. Be able to do as much of the faction warfare in the Jaya constellation as we're able to do. Alternatively, if you're not able to do that, roam more in the Jaya constellation, get as many kills as you possibly can to disencourage these guys coming into our space, because the more activity they see from us, the more activity they see from us in our systems, the ones we have control over, the less likely they will be to come out and try to do any of that sorts of stuff. Yeah, precisely. As Morales said, if the front reaches us from where it is in Cormonan, which, to give you an example, is, I think, roughly 5 jumps away. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Morales, and Q&A, please. If it should be about 5 jumps, I believe, from Cesar. Yeah, it's not very far at all. So we need to get on top of this. I've been working with our faction warfare guys as well to be able to push this forward as an objective. So we need to start working on this as a collective and as a coalition to be able to go forward. We need to be able to secure our faction warfare space. It may not be content everybody wants to get into, but if these systems get flipped, then in comes Black Ops, in comes all sorts of other nasty stuff. We want to try to keep that out of our area as much as is possible. Even us being the smaller entity in the area, we can still pull our weight and do as much as we're able to do. Any questions thus far before I move on to the next topic? Cap, just so everyone is aware, to engage in faction warfare does not mean you have to join faction warfare. You just need to engage in piracy against a certain faction, which is Minmatar Militia. Jules, so Minmatar is shoot on sight. Yes, that is correct, but not in gates, because you'll get gunned down unless you have like an insta-locking Gnosis or a Orthrus or something like that, or an RLM Caracal or whatever, that can take a couple of hits and kill the small things. But that's different. Morales is also more than keen to get you on board and help you with Plexus. So if you guys any faction warfare questions, you're more than welcome to go ahead and throw them there to him. Thank you, Yolad. Just go ahead and put that in the Intel channel via the Discord and in-game as well, please. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is future expansion. Once we get the faction warfare stuff started, and it's consistent on our side, I'm going to go ahead and start pushing for us to expand our sphere of influence. What this will mean is we will have bigger structures in Losec. I'm thinking specifically of a Fortizar where we can put our things in. If we have big toys, we can go ahead and start docking them there. This won't be anytime soon. There will be milestones to be able to hit before we go ahead and put that down. One of those is a 40 or 50 man consistent fleet, or a consistent standing fleet, for me to be comfortable in justifying putting down such a large asset. The second one is the consistency of the faction warfare upkeep, and the third is the smoothness of the industrial infrastructure. Once those 3 milestones specifically have been met, then we'll go ahead and put down a big structure, and that we should reach those if we continue on the path that we're on. We should reach those by end of January, early February of next year. Any questions in regards to future expansion, guys? You can go ahead and post them in Fireside Q&A, or alternatively raise your hand and I can bring you up. I see Hakonan typing. Would the Fortizar be more of a war target? Yes and no. When we're able to put down the Fortizar itself, it will go in Sozan, and the Fortizar will become the new HQ of the coalition. So instead of the NPC, it would be the Fortizar. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to move all your assets from the NPC to the Fortizar. You only move the stuff that you want to move into the Fortizar, but the Fortizar will become the new headquarters, de facto. Now you'd be able to use, when we put it down, you'd be able to use your jump clones, and we'd also have a market hub in there available to our blues and our locals specifically. We won't open up to the public. There's too much fucking shit going on for me to open it up with the public or justify doing so at the moment. Until we get a little bit bigger, then I'd be comfortable with it. But right now, it's not a thing. As for the war target side of things, it would and it wouldn't. The organizations who we've been in war with consistently, like SRS, Mercenary Cluster or Coalition, and GSC, Golden Sky Coalition, they've been engaging us specifically in high sec. As far as I'm aware, they are low sec capable, but they haven't gone ahead and done anything. And the reasoning for this is because they have their current infighting going on as of the moment. GSC and Mercenary Co. has turned on Execution Empire, and they're currently just punching one another in the face. I've also seen activity from Shadow Cartel, so they put down a Fortizar in Sarum Prime, and I believe that they have some tie one way or the other, either to Execution Empire or against Execution Empire. I'm not quite certain of it, but I know that that's a thing that's also within the area. So, on your question of a war target, yes, it would, and no, it wouldn't. It's a finicky one. That, yeah. Apologies about that being a little long-winded. Just give you an understanding of what the situation was. It's weird, to say the least. Anybody have any questions in regards to what I've just said? No? Okay. So this brings me to our second last topic, which is growth and recruitment. Now I know some of our organizations have been bringing new people in already, which is fan-fucking-tastic. I want to go ahead and touch a little bit on this for our smaller organizations and for our smaller corporations. I will be trying to push you guys or help you guys if we're able to do so that when we bring in new recruits, we try to fill in the gaps of the smaller corporations first, bolster them, build their strengths. This also goes for the smaller alliances. Build up all the individual strength for every sector so that no one specific side is a weak point. So if I give an example and say Corporation A has, say, 10, 15 members and Corporation B has 50, we need to be able to bring up the level of Corporation A so that we're able to go ahead and give them more of an internal infrastructure, which then in tandem benefits the coalition. So it's a bottom up, not a top down situation where we strengthen our base and then build it up from there. Trees go upwards, my friends. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody so far? And if anyone has any questions, go ahead and post them before I move on to the next topic. No? Alright, cool. So this brings me to Morales. Yeah, go ahead. To clarify, you don't need to join faction warfare. Ah, right, yes. But we need to kill Mimla. Yes, that's that's what I'd said earlier. But thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, we don't necessarily need to join faction warfare. Just kill every motherfucker who comes into the pocket. Specifically Minmatar. I love Minmatar ships, but the militia needs to die. I'm sorry. I see a couple people typing. I'll go ahead and let you finish before I move on. Nomad. So does that mean that you might want some of our members to move? You guys are already moving. Do you mean move again? Because we're not moving again. We're staying where we are. No, within no. So let me clarify with the corporation recruitment side of things. No, but what I'm saying is, if you as a corporation, because your corporation has a lot of recruits, and you're very good at recruiting corporations, members to your corporation. What I would recommend is if you have smaller corporations within the coalition, I would suggest, and you don't have to do this, it's purely a suggestion. I would suggest that you show them the tips and tricks on how to be able to pull in more members. If you have a certain way that you do it, then help out some of the other corporations. Reach out to the other CEOs. Have more discussions in leadership general and that sort of stuff to be able to help them, help the coalition, and in turn help you. Because more members in the smaller corporations means more bolstered numbers, which means more capability for PvP, more capability for PvE and industry, and it also means that we have more of our guys on the grid in low sec and in high sec, so that if motherfuckers come knocking, we knock back. I see a couple of guys knocking. Excuse me, typing. Okay, cool. And can anyone talk to Kinsey? He is a man that makes that possible. Yeah, guys. If you have slightly smaller corporations and that sort of stuff, reach out to Nomad. He'll get in contact with his recruiter, and he will help you out and get you started. So Dorma, if you want to go ahead and grab hold of Nomad via DMs after the fireside, or now if you want to, and get things started, they should be able to help you out if you're one of the smaller corporations. And any other CEO as well who wants to get things going from any of their sides, even if it's to do with faction warfare. I want all sides of the coalition to be strong. I don't want just one side to be specific. One moment. Okay, apologies about that, IRL. Right, final piece of the fireside before we go ahead and wrap up. Reactions and interactions within the Discord. What I specifically mean by this is announcements, fleet pings, general topics, and that sort of stuff, as well as engagement to do with the forums themselves. Now, I see a lot of people are asking about the Intel channel. I'm very happy about that. The Intel channel in game is linked in the Coalition specific channel. It's called Devoid Allies. You should be able to access that. Once you access that and you go ahead and start posting intelligence in there about people within our constellation, also make sure that you just either screenshot that, so you can go ahead and keep hold of the Windows key, Shift and S to very quickly screenshot something, and then paste that into the Intel channel in Discord. And the reason I want you to do both sides is so that we have, thank you, Miraz, so that we have a bit of a record when it comes to the intelligence that we can do. That way we can ascertain if we have regular people coming into our area and see for the future whether those regular people then leave if we kill them enough. It also helps give us a bit of a catalog as to who's coming and who's going, who gets kills and that sort of stuff, and who's posting intel, general levels of activity, and there's a lot of other little tidbits of data and metadata to be able to put into that. It's great. Like, it's fantastic that we're able to keep a record of this sort of stuff, as well as be able to push the intelligence side forward. It's very, very paramount that we're able to have the intel side of things running around consistently. Now, I want to bring up one thing that the boys from Nomads Corporation in the saloon had pointed out. They were talking. One of them was talking about a paladin yesterday who was neutral. Now, the guy was new. He didn't necessarily understand the difference between standings and that sort of stuff. But that aside, it gave me an idea. If you see any of our red contacts, any of our bad standings or red standings and that sort of stuff in high sec, on the move either towards us or in the hubs and that sort of stuff, please put that in the intel channels as well. The reason being is they do gank regardless of whether they're at war with us or not. So you want to keep your guys safe. Remember, it's not just your corporations, a coalition as a collective needs to be safe. If you're safe and you help everybody else, they're also safe as well. We're very happy to go to war and very happy to punch people in the face. We also need to be able to protect one another. And this is the fastest and the easiest way to do it. Also, just to go backtrack very quickly, when I'm talking about reactions, I mean the posts and the announcements that you see. The reason I would like you guys to react and throw emojis and that sort of stuff to any of the posts that we do specifically so that I can understand that individuals are able to see it, because if you don't click it, I don't know that you've seen it. I need to have an understanding of how many people it's reaching and how many people are able to be able to ascertain the information that they're able to view, so that they understand what's coming to them, instead of it just being, a blank canvas and there's nothing there and no one's clicking on things. So I don't know if people are able to read it or if they've gotten the message or not, and then I need to ping more to understand it, and it becomes the thing. I'd rather it not become a thing where I have to keep pinging people for reactions, this sort of stuff. So every time you see announcements and that sort of shit, just go ahead and throw emojis. I don't care which one it is, just something. Right. That will be it for the fireside. I'm going to go ahead and ask any final questions to do with either any of the topics that we have or any other question that belies anybody for anything that they're curious about to do with the coalition. Go ahead and ask, guys. I'll give it about 2 minutes before I go ahead and shut this down. Yola, do you want to help me get revenge on the guy who just killed me? Yes, go ahead and grab the boys, go out, kill him. Jules, I have a few more industrial questions, but I can save that for the indie guys. Yes, you can. Grab hold of Cap or throw it into the industrial crew specifically. If you haven't applied for the industrial crew, make sure you go on the seat and check it. If you guys have applied to the industrial crew, make sure you grab hold of Cap here, so Ariana Cap Renigan, and have him just whip him, and he'll get your applications for the industrial crew sorted as soon as possible. Adam Sabil, Minmatar ice. You mean mining the Minmatar specific ice? I would speak with Cap on that, as he's running the industrial side of things when it comes to the ice operations at the moment. I don't believe we have any plans thus far to go into Minmatar space to get ice. That will be up to Cap. If it's something we're able to do at the moment, then fantastic. But I don't want to overexert our ability to be able to, one, cover ourselves and the sphere of influence that we currently have ability to affect, and push ourselves far too thinly just getting ice. Wolfgang, do we need to have specific roles in order to create patrol fleets around the low-sec system, hunting people and terrorists, culturally enriching the locals? I like you, Wolf. Yes and no. So if you just want to run like an ad lib sort of fleet, like say I'll use Dorma as an example here, when she wants to put up mining fleets or any of the boys want to put up wormhole fleets and that sort of stuff, you don't need to be an FC to do so. You can just go ahead and ping it in the coalition chat. And it can be a specific thing, like it's an ad lib sort of fleet. If you want to be a fleet commander, so like a JFC and that sort of stuff, then grab hold of me afterwards. So just DM me afterwards that you want to be a JFC specifically, and I will get you up to speed with that. Any other questions, guys? Before I close off, can we do an indie meeting after this? Yeah, you can. I mean, if Cap wants to hold an industrial meeting, he's more than welcome to go ahead and schedule it under coalition events, and you're all welcome to go there. I have a CEO meeting with the boys that's running a little bit late, so I'll reschedule that for a little bit later tonight. All right, final question from Dark here, and then I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Come on, guys, get your final questions before I wrap it up. You guys sure are typing a lot. can I join with the others in PvP with my PvP ults? Do you not have a main character that can do it, Doc? Or do you need to specifically use an ult to do so? Your main isn't mine. Oh, yeah, no, dude, if you got an ult in the corporation, you can use any character. So long as they know it's you, then it's fine. Mounts. Is Orin still a shooter? Yes, Mounts. This will never change. Orin is always shoot on sight. In fact, give that specific post for Mounts like a shit ton of react. I want more reactions than that one specifically. This one, like, this is a necessity. Every time you see Orin, you just, yeah, see more reactions, just like, yeah, perfect. Just like this, guys. Yeah, keep going. Give it more. Like, just absolutely obliterate it. Fucking goddamn Orin. No, Vazi, he's not actually shoot on sight. It's just a running fucking joke. The only person who gets to kill him is me. Or Relance. And Jules, of course. Right, I'm going to go ahead and end the fireside here, boys and girls. No, Niv, you're not allowed to go shoot him. Right, alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this.